Hello folks, my name is Red Labor and I hope this day finds you well. Today, April the 8th, 2013. As of this morning, former Prime Minister of Great Britain, Margaret Thatcher, died. Obviously as a leftist, as a democratic socialist, or somebody who's of the center left with a very social democratic orientation and worldview of the world, I really do not admire the so-called achievements of former Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. Basically, as a young teenager in the 80s, I had enough wisdom to know bad politics when I seen it. Reaganomics was bad for America in the 80s. Thatcherism was bad for the people of Great Britain during that same decade too. And I knew enough about British history and British politics, being, well, you can see with the British flag behind me. I'm a self-admitted Anglophile. I knew enough about British politics that I knew what was bad for the people of Britain. And I thought of privatization and attacking labor unions when public services and trade unions and state-owned enterprise aren't the problem. There was a worldwide recession at the time, and a lot of countries were suffering as a result. Some of the austerity measures that she imposed were unnecessary. And I just think it was overall a bad thing that happened during her time as the Prime Minister of Great Britain. I will say something kind about her, although it may not have been in her intention, but still, a stop clock gives the right time twice a day. If I had to compare her to Barack Obama, the President of the U.S., I can almost argue she governed more as a socialist than Obama, according to the Tea Party. And I'm sure the Tea Party probably like her a whole lot better than Obama. But let me explain that for a moment. It's not exactly an admiration, but it was probably based out of, in fact, it was based out of pragmatism. The National Health Service was so popular that the Tories would never get rid of it. They may try to undermine it, like they are doing currently with David Cameron, but they'll never get rid of it because, like a friend of mine told me one time, actually earlier today on Facebook, it was kind of a joke, but it makes sense. Being against the National Health Service in Great Britain is as popular as being for same-sex marriage in Mississippi, meaning that just the political culture just would not allow that to happen. At least under Thatcher, the NHS still was maintained, whereas when Obama tried doing healthcare reform, all it did just made private health insurance companies stronger. So that's probably it as far as any so-called kind words I'm going to make about her. But I think what she did was overall, what she did to the coal miners, what she did to the protesters with the poll tax revolt in 1990, the onslaught on public services, supporting some of the really fucked up foreign policy of the Reagan administration. I just think that all of that, just makes for a very bad time in Great Britain during the 1980s. And I don't wish her death. I'm not that kind of person. But I'm not going to sit there and praise her to the sky, like probably the people are doing on the right-wing media today. All I have to say is I think it's totally fucked up that everybody remembers Margaret Thatcher, the lady that pretty much dismantled socialism in Great Britain. But nobody ever really talks about Prime Minister Clement Attlee, whose government in 1945 established socialism in Great Britain. And to be fair, the Liberal Party and the Conservative Party under Winston Churchill would have enacted some of the socialistic reforms that the Attlee government enacted. For example, the National Health Service was going to happen anyway, because it was a consensus during the war years that after the war that a National Health Service would be enacted in Great Britain, no matter who becomes Prime Minister, no matter which political party is the governing party. The NHS, or medical care for all, free, would be enacted for the people of Great Britain. And as you can see, when the National Health Service was established in 1948, no government dismantled it. No Tory government, no Labour government. No government dismantled it. It would be political suicide. As I said, on a human-to-human level, I may say my condolences to her as a human being, but on a policy level, Great Britain could have done so much better than Margaret Thatcher. For example, Michael Foot would have been an excellent Prime Minister. Neil Kinnock would have been an excellent Prime Minister. And my politics is probably to the left of Neil Kinnock, and maybe slightly to the right of Michael Foot, but Great Britain would have been much better off under a British Labour Party government, because like the former deputy leader of the Labour Party said in the 1980s when asked, and his name was Roy Hattersley, what is democratic socialism? He usually responded, whatever the Labour Party is doing when governing. And I hope to see the British Labour Party come back into power again, and do so without that Tony Blair nonsense. Well, folks, that's pretty much all I have to say. My commentary on Thatcher and my loaded excess commentary on internal British politics. Please comment away, and especially if you're from the UK, from across the pond, please comment away. And comment if you're anywhere around the world, or even in the United States, comment. Good, bad, indifferent. I'll talk to you. I'll talk with you. I'll talk back at you. Anyway, take care. Have a great day. Ciao. Or as they say in the UK, cheers.